I've been thinking about this question a lot lately.
How long does it take to learn a language?
I have a couple of thoughts on this, and I know you've probably thought about this too, so let's talk about it. How long does it really take to learn English? My main thought about this is it depends. Not everyone's favorite answer, I know. Here's what I think it depends on. It depends on what you want to do with the language. It depends on how different your target language is from your native language. It depends on the time you have available. It depends on the resources you have available. It depends on if you've already learned a foreign language before. So let's take these point by point. First, what you want to do with the language. If you want to reach complete mastery of the language, it will take you more time than if you just wanted to travel comfortably in that language. Do you want or need to become fluent, or do you want to just be able to have conversations? This will change how much time it will take you. Second, how different your target language is from your native language. I'll be honest, I don't believe there is a
Hardest language in the world.
I think we all perceive a language as more or less difficult if it is very similar to or different from our native language. For example, the Foreign Service Institute has sorted a bunch of different languages by their difficulty for a native English speaker. If the language was very similar to English, such as Spanish and other Romance languages, then it was a Category 1 language. It would not require an enormous amount of time for a native English speaker to learn. But for languages that are very different from English, like Mandarin Chinese or Japanese or Korean, it will take much longer to learn. Now I want to talk about these numbers. These numbers bother me a bit. I understand these numbers come from over 70 years of professional research and expertise. However, these numbers are an average and represent class hours. And let's be honest, the classes at the FSI are probably much higher quality than a university class. So I think this number is not very useful for the average learner because you are probably not learning a language at the Foreign Service Institute. You are probably learning English at home with an app or a course, and maybe not with a professional teacher either. Therefore, this number is not going to match your situation. And I don't think you should take this number seriously. That brings me to my third point, the time you have available. Let's be honest, we want more time than we have. You are probably trying to learn English while having a job and having a family. Even if you did have a lot of time in your day, it is very difficult to spend a lot of time, many hours every day, studying English in a focused way. It's exhausting. Maybe you can do this one day or 2 days, or maybe even 3. But can you do it every day for 5 or 6 months? Probably not, and that's okay. But it's important to make English part of your everyday life. So think about how much time you can spend focusing on English. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes? Whatever the number is, make that your goal. For example, I can spend 20 minutes during lunch to study Spanish. I can do that 5 days a week. So that is my goal. Watch a Spanish video 5 days a week during lunch. That brings me to my fourth point. The resources you have available. The resources you should use depends on the goal you have. For example, if your goal is to have conversations in English, then most of the resources you use should focus on listening and speaking. A textbook, for example, might not help you so much if your goal is to have conversations. However, if your goal is to study at an English-speaking university, then using a textbook might be more helpful for you because you need to do more than have conversations. Probably your goal is to have conversations in English with native speakers. In that case, I recommend listening as much as possible. If you only have 10 minutes in your day to study English, then listen for 10 minutes. My final point is, if you have already learned a foreign language, then learning a second foreign language will probably be a little bit easier for you. So you can see why there is not an easy answer to this question. But that's actually a good thing because it means you can go at your own speed. You don't need to compare your speed and your progress to other people's speed, other people's progress. Remember, comparison is the thief of joy, and language learning is very personal. I hope you do not feel bad about your learning speed. If you do feel bad, I hope you will take that time you want to spend feeling bad and use it for studying English. Because I know you can do this. I know you might feel doubt, but if you have good habits, if you practice English a little bit every day, you will learn. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye.